between yourself and the incoming fire. That's why he's able to stay alive here now. This is looking like a big game right now as they're parked up. This could be a huge refresher for them if they can grab all the gear down below. And yes, the team is still alive. Now we have 3 trios on top of one another parked up.
Huge trios too. Where did zone goes? The question looks like it's not where 72 Hours Miking has a great word, because you see Ship already make his rotation down that hill. Not many other players doing much. It looks like it's actually Jared and crew who are the only players in zone. Yeah, they'll have to move off a little bit. They're looking to hold as well. As the great possible shots on the scope to Assault and Innocence. And you mentioned it for a second there. In game number 1, Assault, Innocence, and Scope had the high ground. Their problem was playing a little too aggressive and ending up getting knocked off. Nate Hill still up in this one. Dubs, Meg, and Cease, their first attempts and first say at endgame. They have to move a long way, and they're trying not to spend that pad.
We'll see if that ends up backfiring, though, as this is going to be an important zone. They're going to find Ninja down here by himself. It's Ship and Roller who actually send in the heavy sniper shot. Is that going to be the signal, though, as the shots are coming in now? Dubs, Mega pushing all the way through with Cease here through enemy builds, really bullying their way all the way across right now. Not even expending a lot of mats because they're recycling. It's also up for high ground. They're playing for height now, Balla. Dubs is under some serious pressure. The lobby's not letting it happen. Not at all. Not for free.
No, they're not, but I think Cease is up there. Yes, he's taking it over. Scoped, Innocence, and crew. Meanwhile, though, and it has the grade up on high ground. Nice beams from Cease. He's going to make him fall and definitely potentially cap off of that. But for now, more. There's a minigun in tow as well. More shots from Cease. Mega also combining. Looks like they've won the fight so far, but they have to wait as this continues to push. Bizzle, Commandment, they're in mid-ground. Graska still alive. Ninja did finally just go down to Edgy, so his run over, and he's not going to be able to get too much more. There's Bizzle fighting from below, actually taken out. Has the great, possibly a snipe. Here it is again, continuing to go north, and Cease and crew have gotten. I believe they're going to try to maintain, but no, look in the background. Bizzle, Emad, Commandment, they're fighting a little bit to get that loot off of the player that they took out up above. It's potential for them to have a good launching point for high ground in the future zones.
And Edgy's under pressure now. In comes the Rockets here as he's pressured up and backed up against the zone, his whole entire team. They're trying to find their way through. This low ground is not the safe place to be, not at all right now. They're gonna have to burn this launch pad sooner rather than later or face the iron price now. Here comes the rotate all the way across. The launch pads are out. Who's going to be able to claim the throne of heights? It's Bizzle, who's going to be landed on by Cease and Dubs and Mega. They don't want to give this away. They know that they need a big swing back if they want to stay in this game. They had 0 points coming in, Balla. They now have a couple elims on the threshold on the leaderboard here. You can see Storm Surge
goes down,
a little bit of a factor.
Bucky picks up one. Macwood is actually the player who gets up. Cypher's still in this as well, though. Macwood, Bucky, where is his teammates? I don't even think they're up here with him. No, they are right on the same ladder. Meanwhile, Edgy and AV are looking at front. They're going to crank right up, and this is going to be a huge fight. I think Macwood is already giving it up. Yes, 4 teams to start things off on that high ground fight, and now finally another in 7th zone. It's AV, Chap, and Edgy who take it, and they've got a full wide spread tarp that they've been gifted up off the mountain as it continues now to go even further west. There's Dubs, who started off on high ground. They're getting pressured now, and you said they need a big game. So far, they've gotten pushed off a height and really haven't found anything, but now possibly a good lane.
Showing you that timing is everything for high ground in the end game. Anything can happen. Rockets coming out, shots being fired here. Innocence back in the zone. That means I no longer see Scoped in this game either. Here comes Dubs pushing out from the outside. He has to stay in. Innocence is by himself, confirmed now. You see his perspective. Minigun in hand. Brutus says he's underneath. Keeping fire to get the whole team. Lights him up, but it's not going to be enough to get the conversion. Edgy's still on height though, firing it out. And how's this going to be here? Edgy now hit down to no HP, Balla. We're in the final moment. 7 teams remaining as the zone is now looking to close out. They still have height. Nate Hill goes up and hits Edgy with a huge grappler and catches the knock. Oh my gosh, he doesn't have any builds at all here, Balla. He's gonna go back up. He needs the siphon. There's another player. He's still in it. My gosh.
He gets the siphon, but no materials. He still has the grappler. Who's above him? I believe possibly teammate. Yes, it's Bully. He gets up there, possibly going to split now. But a full trio, Graska reverse, and Summer, who won the first game, and Nate Hill and crew still up on high ground. Now it's possibly going to be a 3 versus 3 with them involved. Ship in this too, and so is D-Roller. But AV up, he could have a big impact too as he takes out reverse 2K through the top, but then gets taken out. Summer trades it. Now Graska still alive in this one. 3 teams left. It's Ship. It's reverse 2K, Summer and crew, and then DeRoller and Owl down on low ground. Where's the other player, I believe, up above? Yes, Nate Hill and Bully too. Owl takes out reverse, so it's just left to Graska to find anything. DeRoller in zone 2. I think this might be a second win for Nate Hill and crew right now as they're raining down terror, and there's nobody even in zone right now. Last player, it's DeRoller in the zone. There's an AR firing down on him. He only has 4 floppers. Actually, he's gonna be able to take height, and they're down stuck in the water. Do they have any mats? Yes, a little bit. DeRoller 1 versus 2. He can actually make this happen, but the spray coming in, yes, knocked down. And Nate Hill to close things out. The clean pump shot and a second victory royale.
Showing you guys the power of the mythic grappler with the back-to-backs in exciting fashion. Nate Hill finding everything, the back-to-back victories. We didn't even think it was possible. He had no builds for a second, but he goes up and just the aggression ball. He hits the shots. That was exciting.
Oh my goodness, a lot to digest because so many teams who were involved in the top 5 were in that, but also newcomers to the scene, at least in terms of the leaderboard. They were up there, AV, Chap, and crew. And I mean, I have to just give it out to Nate Hill and crew because they took high ground again, but this time it wasn't from 5th zone. It was a little bit more reserved down on mid ground.
That's right. But ladies and gentlemen, let's all take a breather. We'll be back in 2 minutes with more Fortnite games.
Thank you for the 100 bits.
Thank you.
TJE, thank you for the 10 gifted sub, dude.
I'll be back.
Someone
Gotta use
Angie,
the
200
restroom.
bits. Thank you guys.
Grab some food.
How do you get 100 bits?
Thank you.
Let's go, baby.
Good
Mate,
lord.
we just clutched so hard, bro.
Huge, dude. Montero, thanks to 4 months.
I'm telling you, see, I don't get in the box when we're playing these games.
There you go.
Remember?
I gotta yell
I
at
know.
you.
No one knows where it comes from. It's the fighting spirit.
Got sprayed so hard coming to you guys. I lost them all.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not just the ships.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ninja Battles event. We're jumping hot right in. It's Monster G-Face Ball TW here. We're looking at the highlights from the last game. If you missed it, such an exciting game right there. Week 2, game 3, just craziness, man. We saw Nate Hill fly up to the high ground, 8 HP Ball TW. He hit the 1-tack with 8 HP. Such an exciting way to finish up that last game, back-to-back victories.
This was probably my favorite game of Ninja Battles so far, and for many reasons. The early game engagements, Acorn and Jack come in 1-2 versus 3, and here it is. 1 tack onto Edgy,
my
the grappler
gosh.
with no mats and 8 HP. Don't forget that was a team holding heights, and because of that, they lose it And who is the one to actually be able to take it? It's none other than Bully, and they close things out onto Roller, which, by the way, again, one of the things people were calling him out. Ship not somebody you can count out from the Mixer community. This guy is clearly good, and he's putting his name out there for a lot of people here in Ninja Battles.
That's how it's happening here. Things are definitely unfolding. The end game is crazy. Oh my gosh, that little breather there was much needed. I think I nearly threw my voice out of the excitement that we saw unfold. And that's the thing about Fortnite. That's the beauty of Fortnite competitive. You never exactly know what you're going to expect. Let's give some more credit to Acorn with the Acorn and Jack 2v3 right after Ewok falls in the farms. That was incredible. We're watching some exceptional high tier gameplay. And that's what we talked about in the game one. Duos doing big things even against trios. And I think that's why we love trio gameplay.
Yeah, and you actually think about how that fight unfolded. Stretch ended up being the first to get knocked out of that fight, and it ended up being Acorn and Jack versus 8 and Saf for a bit, so duo versus duo. And for the reigning champions of FNCS, I don't know, Acorn and Jack clearly have something to say about that championship no matter what, though. We are going to look forward into game number 4 and also kind of figure out where we're at in terms of Ninja Battles, because we got 2 more games to go, and from what I'm seeing, there's 2 clear favorites right now. It's Reverse 2K's team, actually 3 favorites when I really think about how everything has unfolded. We haven't seen a win out of Ship's team yet, but no matter what, let's take a look at how game 3 actually made an impact on these standings again. 16 points for Nate Hill, Bully, and Funk Bomb, 2 wins in a row, and that should put them up in first, although Reverse Graska and Summer are 12 points of their own, 3rd place in that game overall. That's definitely something that they are not letting go of.
And what we're talking about here, guys, this is only the game 3 results, so you're seeing how that game played out for the individual players. Next up, we'll see the full-on leaderboards. So you see that there's a couple players that didn't earn anything that time around, I should say. Ninja, Vivid, Colazo being one of the few. Unknown Army, Kanata, Creo, and others down here. Stretch, Zay, and Saf, unfortunately, find another bad game into the inventory. And look, in 12th, Macwood, Bucky, and Calp. That's big because they were in 2nd coming in. So now we're going to see an equal shift in the leaderboards now. This is going to be exciting. Here it is. He's got 5 right now. And of course, my gosh, tied at the top right now. Nate Hill, Bully, Funk to Reverse Graska and Summer. Consistency across the board.
Oh my goodness, and like we saw in week 1, it's tight. Tie game at the top, but I believe the tiebreakers right now definitely going to Nate Hill and crew because they got the 2 wins in the bag, but don't forget about all the other people who rose up. Look at this though, 7th place, Macwood, Bucky, and Calc have fallen all the way down to 7th. Chap, Edgy, and AB puts themselves up to 6 now. Assault, Scoped, and Innocence, who looked like they could have a really big game, they did, 12 points, but not necessarily the win that they wanted. Looking down even further, who else is starting to have a say on things from the backside? Cypher, PK, Hogman, and Benny, 8 points in that one. That's starting to be a rise a little earlier than what they had in week number 1.
This is still important, guys, because prizing is divvied out after top 12. So that's really the cutoff for these players in the back. They're fighting for that. We're past the halfway mark. It's only game 4 and 5 up ahead of us. In the foreseeable future, if these teams back here on this last page can't really step it up, they're going to be left behind, not scoring any dollars for the day. But 9 points up for C-Stubs and Mega. They were on 0 before this. Now all of a sudden having at least a say for what it's worth here in the competition. I think we got to give a little bit of credit, though, to Emad, Bizzo, and Commandment. They were at 6 before this. Now they're at 3rd place, showing you that the 9 plus 9 and then the points they scored that last time. Slowly but surely getting closer and closer to being in the money.
Yeah, like you said, consistency wins out tournaments. And if they're continuing to do this and then one of the teams slip at the top, though, it's not looking like that, Monster, because teams in the top are really playing consistent too. And you're playing consistent with better results almost in terms of Bully and crew. So we'll have to see. I think they could definitely rise up. They did last week, don't forget, with the win that Mega had in that one. But obviously he's not on that team right now. Still the same kind of story, though, for Commandment, Bizzle, and E-Man. Looking forward, also, I have to wonder if Scoped, Innocence, and Assault are going to continue to maybe start to push down into Dirty Docks and fight against Ninja and crew, because that could be really huge for them. Not only their confidence going forward, but also getting that, I mean, you think of a team out of Grotto not necessarily needing too much, but if they can get those eliminations like they did against Vivid, against Colazo, against Ninja, that could be a confidence boost, but also some extra loot advantage from going forward.
That's the thing, right? Those early points matter, right? You're more likely to be able to find a safe fight, especially if you catch zone like that. So I think the worst nightmare for Ninja and his team is if the zone falls on them again and they stick around too long and have that low elevation naturally, because that was what Scoped Innocence and their last teammate Assault there took advantage of. They took advantage of the natural position that they had.
100%. And I also have to point out that Ninja right now in 19th place, he's just above his brother in Bearded Blevin, so that could also be an interesting thing to see what the brotherly rivalry is going to be like. Looking forward though, Monster game number 4. We've got 2 more to go, and we always bring it back to the rig. I don't really want to go there this time. I want to go towards Young Cal, Macwood, and crew as we hop into game 4, because for them, it is starting to look like they're going to need one of those wins. They're going to need the important thing. Out of Craggy Cliffs, they get the uncontested spots, but they're not doing the massive things that they were doing in week 1 of Ninja Battles. This time, it's a little lackluster, even though they find themselves in 7th place.
And here, you're seeing the spread outs of all the players now. If you're wondering where they're landing, Bizzle, Commandment, Emat, 3rd place right now, have Pleasant Park to themselves. Heavy Sniper being the key component to the loadout and the success in the previous games. Riverson still here with Knight and Keys. We're going to see the same engagement here at the rig. We know it's going to happen. It's inevitable. And take a look. They're all landing for the same spots. And Riverson's, yes, close enough to be a part of the conversation here. He's going to find what might be the best thing you can find. It's a blue pump and some minis to kick it off. And now he has the lead here. He's at the helipad, though, putting in some shots, Bala. Who's going to take this one away is the question.
A completely different change of pace into what we've been seeing the rest of this time. There's Dubs. He's going to go right on the Knight. Yes, there's the pace that we were looking for. He's going to get on the body, though, and that might end up costing him because he didn't get the mats from that. He did get the siphon, so he's still alive. Riverson at the same time has a 50-50 onto Siege, but it's a much better engagement this time because he's full HP. Now on the Mega, it's just Dubs again. Keys still in this too. As things slow down and get more intense, there's really not much to elongate this fight because the materials here at the rig are really scarce. It's really hard to actually come up with a base, so nobody can hold the walls. Dubs gets on a wall, and Keys finds his face as they shake him down again, and this is a story we've seen time and time again. Now Mega stuck on his lonesome. He's out of here. Way far away down the rig in 72 hours also. Cheating a little bit down to the outposts at the south of the Slurpy Swamps.
That's it. The feed should be lighting up soon as they know exactly where Mega is. So we're going to hop over to the Dirty Docks, though. There it is. Riverson finds Mega. Ninja, Vivid, and Colazzo have the zone here. Will we see Scoped Innocence and Assault rotate info this time again? And more importantly, will Ninja, Vivid, and Colazzo be on the lookout? Because that was the reason that Ninja didn't have his teammates in that previous game. Still putting up a pretty good rotate, though, and looking at a different rotate now as Slurpy Swamp comes in and tries to get a piece of Keys and Riverson, and they're going to go in. Kanata's going to find Keys down below, and it's going to be successful. Look at the edits. The shakedown comes, and now he has his teammates to back him up. They're
and they
in the
definitely
lead here.
know what the situation was going down here at the rig before because of the action feed lighting up for them, so they knew that they've already lost one at least, and the entire other squad was wiped, so this should be a favorable engagement. They just got to find where Riverside is, and I think they just heard that open up. No, I think they're just shooting random players. No, they're all 3 around him now. He's trying not to make any noise. No shotgun out. He has to take out the wall, and hopefully he can escape out the top. Yes, he does. And now some time to buy, but 0 mats, and this is what I was talking about. So scarce. He's done. He can't, like, he's got to pull some crazy stuff with his shots because he's a fish in the water right now. Riverson is stuck and down. I'm seeing no potential for him as Unknown finds him in the back. And there's a loot. They've got possibly everything at the rig, but I saw 72 hours. I saw Tom sneaking up here. Possibly he took the card, or at least got TNTina, so who knows if they can get the vault. Another aggressive play from Scope to Salt and Innocence. This time it's on the Retail Road team, though.
And they're rotating, looking for fights. Bearded Blevins is going to get hit with the headshot. Heavy Sniper follow-up here, and he gets taken out by Assault with a beautiful shot. Tular left by himself now, trying to go up for height. Goes for the 50-50 and finds a big monster shot here on Assault. Innocence trying to come in to back up his teammate. The fire from downrange of Brutus's minigun is the disrupting factor. Bonsai Bros gets taken out, and that's just enough now as they find themselves 3 points into retail. So instead of going to Dirty Ducks, they push retail row. Another early game for several points to be thrown up on the board for these guys.
Well done. Scoped, Assault, and Innocence, they continue the momentum forward. A little bit even faster than the last time. We saw a big stalemate last time in terms of positioning, fighting into Dirty Ducks, so opting not to even go for that. Inherently, Retail Road can get a little bit faster off that mountain, but the positional advantage goes to Scoped, Assault, and Innocence no matter what, because Retail team has no info of what the Grotto team is going to do. They can literally land right on top of them if they so desired, but looking at the movements here from Assault, Scoped, and Innocence, they might be looking for more as they move back away from the zone and towards the edge of the map.
And now pushing on across here. Got the river push through. And in game one, I was curious, was Chap and AV playing the edgy here? Or playing the agency, not the edgy, but were they landing at the agency? And they are. That's why we're seeing them in that center map all the time, getting into small scuffles here with teams like Bizzle, who comes down from the Pleasant Park section. And this is a great location, especially to have to yourself. Not only do you get first dibs on the zone, but you get all the vault loot and everything that comes with it. Decisions to choose a great spot on the map or fight if you really wanted. Not taking the best advantage of it. That is the way it goes here. Gonna hops that little wide shot. Shout out to the Obs crew, giving us the good visuals here. But all right, Balla, we're back. Creo, Kanata here.
This is the team that took the remnants of the rig, pushing into that for good reason, and they've got everything now working for them, playing aggressively like we're used to them seeing them. They kind of played a little bit passive in game number one, but ramped it up in game number two, and clearly in game number three. Starting to push themselves up the leaderboard as well, but they definitely need more eliminations. There's the Boombo, so they got the vaults most likely too off of TNT. Or actually, possibly not. Never know what Tom did, although they're right next to them now. And they hear it. Kanata knows he starts to build safety, but also calling it in for his teammate. The airstrike of Unknown Army is lurking in the distance. And you know that once these guys find a prey, they're going to continue to hunt all the way through.
The best part about this is the fact that they upgraded, so the material cost is going to be kind of low here. This is the hunt. This is the fight you want to take, knowing that you have that small but important advantage of loots over them. Remember, this bow here, Boom Bow, does a lot of damage, can effectively take off all the shield pretty much, one good shot. I think it even has a headshot multiplier if you can find it. It's be kind of interesting, but all right, they're just looking for shots here. Kanata not looking to jump in, not just yet, not here. And they're gonna call to get to the zone and hold them out instead. Remember, the bow, perfect for this situation as well, for them to build more with mats they don't have because they upgraded. Now take a look. They're choosing to stay just a little bit. They know they're being held out. Probably gonna campfires and trying to play something smarter out and around here, but time is ticking, Balla. They don't have white heals. At least 72 hours doesn't.
And in zone, they're trying to avoid the players that obviously pushed them. And they did do that, but at the cost of sticking in the zone. There's a couple campfires, though. And probably with the small amount of teams, they should be okay coming out of the zone. Tom known for staying in the zone a little bit. Going back to his antics in Wailing Woods. This time, though, Weeping Woods. See if he has a bunch of medkits to pop. Regardless, not too concerned about the future for that team. Where is this going to go for Kanata and crew, though? Nothing really looming for them on the radar on the mini-map in the bottom right. They should be able to get in. Pretty much white line. Everybody else in the fray, inside of that zone already. And you could see teams playing definitely a little bit more aggressive. Obviously, we've seen that so far, but look at the player count in the top left. Already down to 51, and 3 full squads or trios have been eliminated from this game. Out of the 20 that we start with, there's Ship, Owl, and DeRoller, who are up there in terms of points. They're really, really close to taking week 2, especially if they continue the prowess that they've had. And And Monster Roller is on the rise as a player who should be known in the competitive scene. We saw his rise in the solos pretty out of nowhere.
That's right. These are the newfound faces we saw. We're referencing the invitational FNCS that just unfolded recently. We're coming into a new solo season, though. I'm curious, for all you guys at home, I'm sure you're all as excited as we are for that new season coming around the corner. It's a lot of battling unfolding here, though. Positioning being taken up. We can expect that we're going to see Zate, Stretch, Saf back around here, possibly Ewok and crew nearby as well, as we saw in the past, in the last game.
It's funny how the top teams end up being in such close vicinity to each other. Summer, Graska, Reverse 2K against Owl, DeRoller, and Ship, who we've seen them have engagements in towards the end game. Ninja, Colazo, and Vivid, they've made it out of the early game this time. No scoped Assault and Innocence right on top of them, and a centered position in second zone. Looking very good. They've got a launch pad again. Continuously having that out of Dirty Docks. The loot potential there very, very high. But they've got to get something going here if they want to improve on week one's performance. Right now, not looking likely that they can get one of those top threes, but at least they can get themselves into the pricing. Top 12. Gotta be careful as Heavy Snipes get so close.
That can be the change right there. We saw Bizzle do it in game one. We caught Hogman with it. All of a sudden, they were left without a player. Benny, crew. But here, looking around the map now, you get to see the full picture, the bigger picture. There's only one team moving in on the back half. It's probably Kanata and Unknown, as they did the same thing last game and got punished for it. Ninja using his own signature pom-pom right there. Get that in the chat one time for you boys.
Iconic. Macwood, Calc, and Bucky, they've got themselves a spot too. It's in the Frenzy Orchard though, and look who's lurking. This is dangerous, I'd say, for Nate Hill, Funk Bomb, and crew. Yes, they can play aggressive themselves, but if they get too close to Calc, Macwood, and Bucky, they might end up pouncing on them. And these guys have kind of fallen out. Okay, cool. They have moved away. They're actually going to rotate even farther up north and away from this orchard. And they might have full rain on this north side. Everybody going to be basically coming nowhere actually on the Steamy Stack side at all. And that's because I think it's uncontested, Monster, which is surprising to say.
That's how it all kind of unfolds here. This could play really, really good for Reverse K Graska's team in summer because of the fact that it's favoring their landing spot more or less. Remember, they're at 39 points, tied for first place right now in second. Punisher, Nick A30, and Glaisto trying to rotate across. They're just close to AV and Chap, who take it down river right now. Take a look. Colazo, Ninja, Vivid have that prime positioning, that little bit of heights here. Remember, the new map is not too crazy with the elevation, so if you catch it, you have some really good real estate in comparison to the rest of the lobby now. Power of the river rotates, gonna get AV, Chap, and Edgy in a good spot now. Gun in the inventory, launch pad in the inventory, harpoon for the end game. Be able to hang out here and probably buy themselves.
Ninja on height. It's potential for them to really do such on this lobby third zone, and there's ish potential for them to get fourth. Ship and Owl still there in as well. They've got themselves a new base down on low ground, a little bit more centered as well. So continuing to push the agenda. AV, Edgy, and Chad, they're starting to push their way up too, don't forget. Where are they going to end up, though, is the key. They were around 7th place, right around where Macwood, Calc, and Bucky have left themselves. Looking to see where did Funk Bomb and Nate Hill end up. Also curious where Reverse 2K and crew are, because I haven't seen them quite yet. There's Nate Hill and crew. Oh, a heavy snipe coming in from the side, and it's Zate, Saf, and Stretch, who have been pushing mid-game fights time and time again. Gonna pounce right on this. Bully trying to get involved. Funk Bomb actually backs off. Bully was going straight for it. This time, though, they get that finish, and they realize there's no saving Nate's. And another heavy snipe onto Funk. At least a sniper shot. It's Reverse and crew who are actually going to be firing down on them, and things are looking really bad now for Funk and Bully, but they've found themselves and carved themselves a spot that should give them a little bit more room now. But I'm curious how this is going to go for them. They still have plenty of heals and a launch pad to work with. They're going to get Funk Bomb back up HP-wise, and they've got themselves a good base to get the time that they need for it.
This is big. That's your first place team now being crippled here with the shot that's going to take out Nate Hill. So 2 players remaining. Here's your look at the map. These players have to collide into the center now. Zypha, Booga, and Avery are going to be the only crew on the outside on the right-hand side. Look at Stretch, Saf, Zayd up a ball nice and late in here. Third team run for the money. Graska, Summer, and Reverse 2K. And they're so close, by the way. Remember to Funk down below on the left-hand side here. Stretch with the shots connecting. They're coming up. They want a piece of this real estate. That rocket launcher is going to open things up for them to be able to take this high ground now. Love to run back here from Reverse, trying to get with his teammates. Figure things out. They lose it. But for what? Because this is not even safe to the zone. Yes, they're just going to default to giving it up and get out of there. As they're looking.
This is dangerous, man. All the top teams are going to be congested right next to each other. Reverse 2K even going to try to build up over top of the Roller and crew. And yes, they do make it happen. So he's carved himself a spot. But I mean, Zayt and Saf are there behind them. Funk and Bully behind them as well. Macwood and Kaut going to be right on top of them. I mean, this is some of the best teams in the tournament right here. Going to be right on top of each other. And when I say best teams, but also the teams in contention for the top. So it could be a bad possible game looking at the overall for all of those teams. So maybe an opportunity here for somebody new to take the scene. Stretch has actually gotten the grappler off of Nate Hill, who we saw put it to great use last game and basically secure it for his team.
This is why we got to bring that focus to Emad. Bizzle coming